There are many different blocks within the game of Minecraft, but sometimes when building and you're looking for a specific texture, you just have to go with what you have. Or do you? What if instead of just 5 sandstone blocks, you could have infinite? What if you could have custom textures within Minecraft? Hey guys, Ishbosheth here. Today I have something really cool to show you. We have custom blocks within Minecraft. This is in fact using custom heads. And as far as I know, I have not seen any other designs similar to this out on the internet, so this is new. And this is using custom player heads on armor stands. They're holding it in their hand. And I know what you're thinking. There's a lot of armor stands there for just one block. But this is infinite textures for no resource pack. As you can see, I don't have any resource pack except the default one. And here, this is actually a 32 by 32, and not even 16 by 16 as the other Minecraft blocks are. There is some problems with it, in that you have to have one repeating command block. And over here, this is just a repeating command block that sets the armor stands on fire. And if we were to remove this, you'd see there'd be some lighting glitches after a certain amount of time. As you can see here, the armor stands turn black because they are suffocated. And if we remove it, you can see that since there's air here, they'll turn light. And this is because we go into spectator mode. These are marker armor stands and their hitbox is pretty small. You could actually get a slightly more detailed texture. As you can see with a map, you have 64 by 64 pixels. You can have quite a detailed texture, but as you can see on the edge, you have this birch outside, which I think is the downside if you're trying to make custom blocks and command creations. This, on the other hand, is using, let me just turn this repeating command block back on so that we have full lighting, and it'll take just a second. This, on the other hand, is using armor stands, and it can be aligned so that there's no border. And you can see on the edges here that we have some lines and colors. That's just because I'm using these player heads which have these weird colors, and I didn't want to spend the time making an entire block because it is quite a lot of work. But as you can see, this can be used for a lot of things. Because they're entities, you can put like a dropper behind it, have some ancient ritual, or a hopper if you wanted a different GUI. And what's that? We should probably take that out. Anyway, you can also use this to hide buttons, but you have to make sure to get the player to click in the middle, as you can see. Anyway, you could also use this as a crafting table, or pretty much anything really. It's up to your imagination. And that's what I think is so cool about this design. I haven't seen it anywhere else, and that's pretty fun. There are some slightly less entity-intensive designs, like this one here, but it's a little tricky to texture correctly. As you can see, this isn't completely perfect. There's just a few problems with it that make it difficult to work with, because entities render darker and things like that. You could also use something like this, which is a armor stand with on its head. You can see we've got an armor stand here, and it's wearing something on its head, and that will make a bigger texture instead of a smaller one. But as you can see, there's a few problems like glitches where it will take visual glitches. Also, it doesn't line up pixel perfect on this one, whereas over here, you can see this is pretty pixel perfect with this. And there's some other things that you can do with heads as well. As you can see, we have a darker section of wool here, and there's a bit of a grid texture, which could be removed with quite a lot of work. I just wanted to give an example of what you can do, because really, your imagination is the limit with this. And that's why I think this is a really cool design. Normally you'd only have like 3 colors of wool, but with this you could have infinite. Sort of similar to Simply Start's design. If you don't know, I'll link that in the description, but he made a design that allows you to dye any block, any color. But this actually uses, again, no resource pack, and that's why I think it's pretty cool. Even though it does use quite a lot of entity, it's still pretty cool. And this block is actually using the outer transparent layer, so you don't have to texture anything. You just have to align this correctly so that it is covering up the block, and then it becomes color. So we can actually remove the wool here, place in something like that, and it will become a blue-colored sandstone. And the reason why there's the grid texture is because the transparencies overlap and become more dark. So yeah, and that could be fixed by doing some weird movements so that they're not overlapping and having weird glitchy texture, but that just takes a lot of work, and I just wanted to give an example so you guys can create what you'd like. And let me just show you. This is a player head. Whoopsies. I'll get that button back. This is just this player head. You have to use a long command, which I'll show you how to get it later, but I just go to a website that generates it, and so you just have to go through and texture your head a bunch of different times. Anyway, enough rattling on. Let me get into some of the flaws. As I've already mentioned, there's quite a lot of entities. If I stand right here and hit F3, up in the top left corner you can see there's 76 entities, and that would be quite a lot. This one alone uses about 56 entities. I think I'm rendering something over there. But it uses about 56 entities, and it could get pretty laggy pretty quickly if you're using a lot of these. Again, also this uses some repeating command blocks. Depending on what you're doing, you might need more than one. With this setup here, I just have 2 blocks that I have, so I don't need a ton more command blocks, but the more you'd be making, the more command blocks you'd have to have. Also, as I mentioned, or you've sort of seen, there's some rendering errors. Here, you can see there's the glitchy texture, and if I fly back over here and look up, you can see sometimes they de-render and get out of rendering. So it's not perfect, but it's a lot better than nothing, I guess. And finally, there's a lot of work. This took a very long time to create, just this setup here. I'm sure you could make some kind of generator to do it. I don't know how to do that, but yeah. So it takes a lot of work, but once we've done that, we can go on, and let's show you how this works. So let me show you guys how to get the heads that you need. First, we want to type in Minecraft heads, or Minecraft head, and you want to click on this one. I'll link it in the description, but you can find it through Google pretty easily. And let that load up. You want to click on Custom Heads, and click on Custom Heads Generated. And this is a website where you can find some pretty cool custom heads, or you can generate your own. So you want to type in your username. My name's Ishbosheth, and you could type in the skull name. That just gives the item that it gives you a name, so we don't need to use that. Now we want to create a give code, and then it'll load, and as you can see we have my head, and you want to texture this based on what block you make. So we want to copy that, and then go into a new tab, and type in Minecraft armor stand generator. And we want to go to this place, and I'll link this one in the description as well. So we want to make sure this is selecting 1.13 and above if you're in the 1.13 snapshots. We want to basically set up the armor stand height. This is what I do. I make it an invisible, invulnerable armor stand with no base plate, no gravity. I show its arms so we can have the arms. I make it marker, and we don't need the center corrector because we'll be teleporting away. I set the rotation of the right arm, because that's the arm that it's going to be holding, is to, you can see down at the bottom, 45 right here. Set that back to 0. And then 315. So we do it. Looks like we can't get it. Basically, you'd want to go into the command and change that once you copy it if you can't get it quite. It's pretty tricky to get. Anyway, you want to enable equipment and paste in the give command into the head, and change that to give code. And it'll link you the website that we were just at. And then we want to name it. Make sure you name it so you can reference it. I'm going to name this Ishbosheth. You don't want to make it show custom name. You just make it so that you can reference it. And I recommend locking the slot interaction unless you're on a single player world, just so that people can't mess with it. Even if it is a marker, it's possible. Then you want to copy that command. And what you want to do is, when you see here, it says armor items. This curly bracket right here to all the way, it'll be 5 different lines in the command block, but all the way over to this last curly bracket over here. And, you want to copy that, and you want to cut that. You can get rid of it, paste in just a blank curly bracket like these, and paste that thing and paste this whole section right here into the first set of curly brackets here. So you'd want to highlight that and then paste it in. And then after that's done, make sure your rotation and everything is correct. Then you'd be able to use that armor stand, teleport it in however you'd like. That's how I make the armor stands. Back to the tutorial. So, right here I have two command blocks, this one and this one. So, this command block aligns you correctly for when you're setting up. So this command block here, if I copy that, and then I teleport to this block right here. So, teleport, and I want to go to point 0, and point 0 we have. And if I go, oops, let me go into spectator mode so I don't get pushed around by the block. If I teleport there, and then I paste in that command, I would be facing right here, and this would align me so I can teleport the armor stands. And let me just show you how that works. If I do a set block, then it teleports one of these guys to me. So, let me just kill that guy, and he'll go away. So, this command block here, I'll put it down in the description, but this is the command that you want to type in once you're at the absolute, perfect of the block. As you can see, if I go into spectator mode again and teleport here and hit F3, you'll see in the top left corner where it says XYZ, it says the numbers where I'm at, and the decimal is 000. You want that for all of it, and then you would paste in this command, and that would be if you were doing something like the first demonstration, the block, where you're actually texturing each section. If you just want to color a block, like what we're going to show you here, you'd want to use this command, which I'll also link down in the description. And yeah, so let me just copy that one, because that's the one we're going to be using. And again, I have a set block into this chain, and this chain is basically just summoning in the guy. This is the big long text that it does. So it summons an armor stand. And then right here, this is an optional one. I actually am not going to be using it for this one, but you could set the armor stand on fire for a certain amount of time, and this is what you'd be using the repeating command block for, is because it will eventually be put out, so you want it to be on fire. And that will basically make it bright, so that it doesn't go dark. With this, it's not a problem, so we're just gonna keep that off. This one teleports the armor stand that we just summoned in the first command to me, and then this just sets the chain back up so I can just set block a bunch of times and have a bunch of these guys set to me. Let me just kill those guys again, and let's do this. So we want to make sure we have this command, because this is the one that sets me up for the outline, because if I set block, you can see this, the outline of the transparent outer layer is slightly bigger than the actual head itself. So you have to align yourself slightly different. So let me go into spectator mode. And let's teleport to the block. Let's see, we had it right here. And as you can see, we're at 0, 0. Now we want to paste in that command that we just pasted here. And then we're gonna set block. And as you can see, it's created a light blue texture here. And actually, since we didn't set the armor stand on fire, if we were to place blocks around this block, it would turn dark. And as we continue placing them, some of the armor stands will be inside of this birch planks, so they'll turn dark, but we won't worry about that for now. So, since these armor stands, the heads, when they're in an armor stand's hand, they're actually a quarter block. So I'm going to teleport myself negative 0.25 blocks in the direction that I'm looking. So it says towards negative Z. So I'm going to teleport myself that direction so that I can then summon in another guy, and he'll be aligned where it needs to be. So let me keep doing that. And I'm going to do this till I get to the end of the block, and then teleport myself in the negative X direction, 0.25. And then back in the positive Y. And this is just positioning ourselves so that we can be where we need to be. And so you can see we've already got almost the whole top. So let me go ahead and finish this real quick. And that's the last one. So now we can go ahead and come out of spectator mode. And I'm just gonna place some blocks around here. And as you can see, now we have a blue piece of birch plank. That's all for now. Thank you all for watching. Have fun creating. If you do make a video of some kind, just mention that I was the person who showed this, because as far as I know, this is the first video that's being made about it. And yeah, I think it's pretty cool. So yeah, thank you all for watching, and have a very nice day.